Hi, and welcome to Advanced Education Law. This is my first video blog of the semester, and I just want to take this opportunity to talk with you about how the course is going to play out, what we'll be covering during this semester, and also introduce you to some of the resources that you'll be using on a regular basis. So these video blogs, I'll definitely do one every week to start the week, and then I'll have more video blogs interspersed throughout the term. I'll also use other videos and audio files we'll have Supreme Court testimony, we'll look at some news video footage, we'll have lectures or keynote talks from legal scholars and institutions from around the country speaking on a variety of topics. And I'll make these available on our main course website, and I'll also provide links within our daily course outline. So on the course website, on the upper right hand side, I'll always have the video box for videos and from me and others, and then sort of in the middle I'll have what we're doing for today and for the next day, and I'll constantly refresh that, so you have the day that we're currently in and the day coming up immediately there on our front page. Below that will be a box with links to a variety of different resources you'll use, including the course outline for the rest of the semester, our syllabus, a link to our discussion board, and others. And then the left sidebar is static no matter where you move throughout the course website, and it has links to other courses that I teach, as well as some resources on the bottom of that left sidebar that tend to be useful for people in most of my courses. And so they include resources on how to use some of our online library resources and citing legal resources in APA, which isn't always intuitive. So, those will always be there on the left sidebar. Now, this course, as a doctoral law class, has a very different feel than the master's law class that I teach. In that, in our master's law class, we're really preparing school leaders to interpret sticky issues on the ground. So when they're actually in the school building and things arise, how can they look at them through a legal lens? How do they interpret it in the field and in the moment? How do they coordinate the gathering of information across all the different people that might need to access that information down the road? So that has a very practical feel to it, although we do spend time analyzing these cases in a way that hopefully allows students to apply them across a variety of different contexts. There's also a really strong knowledge-based perspective to it. Where this course, we're assuming that you already have some of that basic knowledge. Some of you who may not, I provide readings for you to catch up, to get that knowledge base. So it's not necessary that you've taken the master's law class to be successful in this class, but the point is that this isn't the class you take to get a full survey of education law. Rather, this is a course where we're going to take a few particular topics, we're going to pull them out, and we're going to dive into them in more depth. And the goal there is for us to try to explore assumptions or popular held beliefs that we have about how the education system works or how it should work, and we're going to spend some time trying to challenge those assumptions. And in challenging them, we may affirm what we already believed, and we may develop brand new ways to think about how we should be serving children and serving our community through schools. The readings that I apply are intended to try to facilitate that process, and so some of them are there to provide a foundation of content knowledge, and you'll find that most of that comes out of our core textbook for the class. And there are other articles or video, different types of multimedia that are there primarily to provoke debate. I don't agree with the perspectives and interpretations of everything that's in those videos and everything that's in those articles. I agree with some of them. But that's not really the point. I've chosen them because I thought that whether I agree with them or not, I thought their arguments were well developed. And so we're going to spend a lot of time critiquing the literature. We're going to spend a lot of time critiquing each other. And the key to doing that productively and to doing that civilly, I believe, is to always be critiquing ideas and not critiquing people. I have a fair amount of experience teaching online, and one of the things I can tell you is that affect and context are two things that don't easily come across in a discussion board or through an email. And so we're going to have to take extra care to provide that context and affect whenever we can when we're posting onto the discussion board. And then also as readers, to give people the benefit of the doubt when you see something that could be taken the wrong way, and to understand that this is part of a lively intellectual debate we're going to engage in, and some ideas that you throw out there may not survive that debate, and that's okay, and that's part of the process. So let me talk about that process in a little bit more detail. We're going to have a 4-day cycle for each week, Monday through Thursday. And we'll have 1 or 2 discussion threads each week. Most of my discussion threads are going to run over at least 2 days, some longer. Now, what that means is that, for me, in my classes, that means that there will be beginning and end times embedded within each discussion thread. And I'll give you an example of what that means. I may have you read something, watch something, and then I'll throw out a question for you to consider. And then I'll tell you that you have until 6 p.m. on Monday to provide your initial response. Now, during that time, everybody in class will be providing a response onto the discussion board. And as that happens, you may get some ideas and want to respond right away. But we have an end time for a reason. In order for there to be a social element to this discussion on a text-based discussion board, it's important to respect what I call the turn. And the turn is that time where I'll say after 6 o'clock on Monday and before Tuesday at, say, 8 o'clock, I'll be asking you to go back and see what everybody has written, read that, and then provide responses by critiquing people's ideas, affirming some ideas, and then trying to pull out the best of what's been argued at that point and maybe reshape it. Maybe I'll give you another prompting question to sort of recontextualize those ideas. The reason for waiting until the turn to weigh in is that it gives everybody a chance to get their initial responses down, to respond to that first question. So think of it as an internet version of wait time. And then by doing that, everybody gets to be involved on a similar footing. So that means that it's an asynchronous course, meaning that you can come in and contribute and do your readings and watch your videos at 2 in the morning or 2 in the afternoon. It doesn't really matter to me. But what does matter is it's asynchronous within frames, within certain time frames, usually 24-hour frames that I've provided. And for that reason, you'll want to have internet access and be available for the class during those 4 days a week. I will provide all of the readings and the video links up front for people who want to work ahead a little bit, and also for people who can feel they get a lot of the reading done over the weekends. There's no major assignments for this course. All of the work you do through the discussion board. And that means that the discussion board itself is expected to be maybe more than you're used to in traditional online classes. We're looking for more content, more depth of analysis, more engagement in your work on the discussion board than in a class where that might just serve as a supplement. Here it is the work that you'll be providing. So I'm looking forward to seeing that work online. And as you have questions, please don't hesitate to ask. I've put together a discussion group for us on Google discussion groups. And that's the groups that we'll be using throughout this course. If you have a question, I encourage you to post it on the discussion board rather than sending me a direct email, although that's fine if you feel more comfortable doing that. But I prefer the discussion board so that everybody can benefit from your question and from my answer as well. Thanks. See you online.